There are currently 10,000 lawyers practicing here in Iowa, but for years, that number has been shrinking.
And that shortage is really felt in rural Iowa, but it is growing and is putting a strain on the state's legal system and Iowans in need of legal advice. KCCI's Jody Long investigates what's happening to Iowa's attorneys.
Blue sky and farmland, scenery synonymous to the Hawkeye State. More than 5,100 miles of highways spread like veins throughout Iowa.
Coming up over that hill that you just traveled over, always had a sense of home. It's comfort to me.
The small southeastern Iowa town of Bloomfield is in the heart of the desert.
We're not only getting Davis County work, we're getting a lot of the surrounding areas as well. Yeah, it just keeps coming. You can tell there's definitely a shortage.
Davis County is one of Iowa's 46 legal deserts. Kelly Lynch is one of 3 attorneys in the entire county.
We have a lot of work to do constantly. We're always busy.
The issue is supply versus demand. A legal desert is a community having few to no options for legal representation. Right now, nearly half of Iowa's 99 counties have 10 or fewer lawyers helping Iowans with their legal needs. In 17 counties, there are less than 5. In Ringgold County, there are no attorneys. After graduating law school in 2023, Kelly followed in her father's footsteps, joining him at his private practice in Bloomfield, a legal fixture in the family's hometown for more than 30 years.
I have the connection to come back, and I mean, that's a big part of it.
Kelly is the exception. Less than 9% of graduating law school students are expected to live and practice in rural Iowa.
If the defendant doesn't testify and exercises that constitutional right.
At Drake University, 2nd and 3rd year law students are in the final weeks of school, and time is ticking for many of them to decide where they want to begin their career.
I'd never really wanted to do the big city attorney skyscraper thing.
For others, the idea of working in a smaller town has its drawbacks.
But some things concern me, like pay, the opportunities that are available.
What's at stake for Iowans is access to justice.
Iowa State Bar Association President Melvin Shaw says Iowa's growing number of legal deserts is a complex and layered problem. The number of people pursuing law degrees is down nationwide, but in Iowa, enrollment is up at the state's 2 law schools. Last year, the University of Iowa's law school program saw a 2% increase in enrollment. Drake University saw a 6% bump. But law school isn't cheap. Students are spending more money on school and making less money when they graduate.
The average debt is over $90,000 for a law school student.
Attorney wages in Iowa are among the lowest in the country. Without more new lawyers staying in state, Shaw expects the rural attorney shortage will expand into larger cities.
In Iowa, about 32% of our attorneys are 65 years or older. That means that in due time, some of these counties will have even fewer attorneys.
With limited access to legal help in underserved areas, Iowans are now being forced to act as their own lawyers. The issue, a sticking point of this year's condition of the judiciary. Iowa Supreme Court Chief Justice Susan Christensen says more and more Iowans are navigating the courts alone.
The numbers are striking. In fiscal year 2024, over 9,000 divorce cases were filed, and in 2/3 of those, at least one party represented themselves. In civil cases, not counting small claims, 78% involved at least one party without a lawyer.
The majority of them working Iowans who simply don't have access to a lawyer or can't afford one.
People don't think like lawyers. That's not their job in life. And so the outcomes tend to be pretty bad.
Iowa Legal Aid is the safety net for Iowans before they self-represent. Executive Director Nick Smithberg.
Our biggest areas of work are in housing, family law, domestic violence.
The nonprofit employs more than 70 attorneys and offers free counsel to low-income women, seniors, and minorities statewide. It says the shortage of lawyers is keeping them from helping more people in need.
So we're helping about 1 in 10. So that's bad math. For us to provide service in those counties, logistically is a lot more expensive.
So the group is getting creative. Originally intended for disaster relief, Iowa Legal Aid is now rolling its Justice Bus into legal deserts. This legal clinic on wheels functions just like a law office. Smithburg says it's not a lot, but it is something.
We can't be there all the time, but we can be there sometimes. And so if we can have a sort of almost like a pop-up legal clinic from time to time, and partner with people in the community.
In communities like Bloomfield, people drive from more than an hour away to meet with the 3 full-time attorneys who work here.
We have to draw the line somewhere, otherwise we would not survive. We could not.
The 26-year-old lawyer is now focusing on growing the next generation of legal professionals in her hometown, a family business part of a legacy to bring back justice to the heartland.
But when you're in the position that I am, it's talked about all the time. Like, are you going to take the business over? Are you going to, do this for the next 50 years? And yeah, so it's a lot of pressure, but it still excites me.
In Bloomfield, Jody Long, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Kelly is working really hard down there in Bloomfield. Lawmakers this session were hopeful a bill that would recruit lawyers and pay to retain them to work in rural areas would pass. It didn't this session. House Representative Brian Losey plans to reintroduce the bill next session. But as for the Justice Bus you saw in that story, thanks to the Iowa Legal Aid, they plan on taking that bus into the rural deserts this month. They'll tour this summer. They'll start in Madison County. They'll also provide legal service at the Iowa State Fair later this summer. But if you find yourself in need of legal resources or guidance when it comes to self-representing, we do have resources on our website right now at kcci.com.
Yeah, sounds like we could use a fleet of those buses right now. Jody, really good stuff. We got to fix this issue, that's for sure. Thank you.